You know what I find ironic? Ecuadorians talk shit about Ecuador every single day. But if a foreigner says something, it's a problem. How many times have I not heard from an Ecuadorian that
Ecuador es una mierda?
But if a foreigner says that, then everyone gets offended. Maybe it's a hot take, but I think it's okay to not like everything about a country, even if you're not from there. So in this video, we're going to take a look at my top Ecuador nitpicks. Or at least that's what I was going to do, but then I had a better idea. I am going to tell you the top things that grind my gears about Ecuador. And to make this video special,
I hereby proclaim that for the next 5 days after this video is published, you can make any comment or nitpick about Ecuador without being judged.
You don't like how a specific city feels? Tell us about it. You don't like how someone treated you? How dare they? You don't like me? Them's fighting words, but I'm ready. There will be exceptions, of course, like not repeating anything I or someone else says in the comments. But I'll give more details on that at the end of the video. So, to start with, the first thing that really grinds my gears is most things that have to do with the driving culture here in Ecuador. To not get too into it, the main things that bother me are the incessant honking, the lack of respect for most, if not all, rules of transit, and the way people just seem to be way too rushed when it comes to getting from one place to another. And that last one really ties into the next thing that grinds my gears, which is the fact that people are always late to everything. So of course they always have to rush to get from one place to another. You'll notice that when an Ecuadorian is rushing on the road, they really seem different from what you would normally know them to be. Calm, peaceful, tranquil, loving person, because they just become some kind of demon that is addicted to speed. Now, the food. Okay, I have no complaints about the food. The only thing I will say about the food is that I am not a big fan of the heavy emphasis that is put on having rice with almost, if not all, meals. And it's not just the fact that it's in almost every dish, which, oh my goodness, please make it stop. But also the fact that people look at you weird or like you're unhealthy if you're not eating rice.
And a public service announcement for my fellow Ecuadorians.
Rice is not as healthy as you think it is. Unless we're talking about wild rice, but yeah, let's not talk about wild rice. Now, the next thing that really grinds my gears, and now that I think about it, it's actually a pretty big one, is that the lack of organization in some cities is so bad that I'm actually pretty surprised that they're still standing. The best example I can give you is the closest example to me. I've been living in the province of Manabí. I've been living in the capital city of this province in a city called Puerto Viejo. When I first got here, this city was known as Puerto Hueco, which means literally Puerto, which is the first part of the city of Puerto Viejo, and Hueco, which is literally holes. Because this city was full of holes when I first got here. Fast forward to 2025, and this city still has a ton of holes. Aside from that, there's also the situation that happened when the earthquake in Ecuador happened, which unfortunately really affected this city that I live in 2016. Now, I know that no city in the world is perfect, but in most places around the world that I've seen that have been hit by catastrophic earthquakes, the recovery response is much faster than what happened over here in Ecuador. I'm not even joking when I say that 2 years after the earthquake happened, the city, the part of the city that was destroyed, was still in shambles. And yes, that was a lie. The city wasn't in shambles for 2 years. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's Puerto Viejo. It took almost 6 years for that part of the city to get fixed. It is, was, and probably will keep being absolutely ridiculous. And I know that there are some people who are gonna say that,
oh, we didn't have the resources, oh, you know, it's Ecuador, oh, I don't know, some weird excuse. Oh, but in my city where I live, in my part of the world, it's so much worse.
Well, for the people who said the first few things, I'll be waiting for your 20-long video talking about the Ecuador earthquake so that you can explain to me why it took so long for this part of the city to get fixed. And for the people who say that, you know, your part of the country, your city, wherever you're at in the world is so much worse, good for you. But anyways, moving on, the next thing that really grinds my gears is the fact that the justice system here in Ecuador is absolute booty. And I don't mean the good booty, not the booty butt nor the treasure chest. I'm talking about booty that is absolute trash. This is another thing that could go on forever, so I'm just gonna mention the top things that I really don't like about the justice system. First, the police don't stop the criminals because they're seemingly afraid of them. The example that I'll always use is the fact that sometimes the police set up checkpoints to make sure you're not carrying or doing anything illegal. And they will always stop the most law-abiding citizens, the people who you know, they're wearing their helmets, if they're motorcyclists, they're, you know, they have all the right gears, they have their documents. If it's a car, it'll actually have the license plate. But they will completely ignore the people who are not wearing their helmets, which yes, is illegal, or the people who are driving their cars without a license plate, which yes, is also illegal. So I'm like, why don't you stop them? The second thing that I really don't like about the justice system is the fact that criminals, yes, even the ones that commit the heinous crimes, murders, are seemingly let out of jail after they commit their crime. You end the life of a person and you get out of jail, prison, whatever you want to call it, in a month, 2 months, 3 months. I mean, call me crazy, but I don't think that 1, 2, or even 3 months of prison taught that criminal who took a life that what they did was wrong. I mean, but hey, what do I know? So we're not done yet, but of course, if you're getting value and enjoying this video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. And if you happen to be an Ecuadorian who's watching this video and at this point you're fuming while you're thinking,
why are you talking bad about my country? Or what do you know?
well, you do know no one's forcing you to be here. You can, I mean, if you want, go eat an encebollado, you can go watch some soccer, go drink some beer. You know, it's okay. You're not gonna miss out on anything. So now for everyone who's still here and remembers that I am an Ecuadorian with an Ecuadorian family, now we're gonna get some of my dad's takes so that you can get an opinion from someone who's lived here for much longer than I have. So the first thing that my dad had to say that he did not like is what he calls the social culture, which is not respected here. Basically, the way that he defines it is that people disrespect you in most social settings, such as being in public transportation, disrespecting people who are older than you, typically senior citizens, vehicles doing whatever they want, which is something that I mentioned in my takes on this situation, and of course the fact that no one respects lines. The easiest way to summarize this point is that people do as they please and have no respect for those who are around them. The second thing that really grinds my dad's gears is the politicization in all public institutions. And what this actually means is that you need a contact in order to get a job in any public institution. In other words, you can be the best for a specific job in a public institution, but if you don't have the right contacts, you will never get that job. And having the right contacts can mean a variety of things. Either you're a family with that person, maybe you're a part of their political campaign, like you guys have the same political ideologies, or in some cases that I've heard of a lot more of nowadays, you pay a specific amount of your salary, like suppose you get a job as a doctor in a public institution, you give them your first 2 paychecks, and then you get to be contracted there for as long as they want to keep you, or as long as they can keep you. My dad thinks it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. And if you think it's ridiculous, leave a comment down below and like this video, please. And the last thing that really grinds my dad's gears about Ecuador is that there are no existing politicians that are good at being in Congress. His explanation is that the job of the people in Congress is to look out for the rights of the people, the rights of the country, the well-being of everyone in Ecuador. But what the people in Congress actually do is only look out for their own rights. They only look out for some kind of benefit in what they're doing, and they don't give a damn about anyone else. This is probably why we see that some things that would be beneficial for the people or the country don't get passed in Congress. Once again, it's ridiculous, but that's just the way things are over here. In conclusion, we can sit here and look at things that you don't like, that I don't like, that my family doesn't like, that my friends don't like, that all Ecuadorians don't like. And I might actually do that. I might actually make a nitpicking video about all my Ecuador nitpicks, 100 nitpicks in Ecuador, or I don't know, a box full of nitpicks. Whatever you want to see, just let me know in the comments section down below, and we'll do it. But for now, really, those are the things that really grind my gears, and let me get rid of this. And really, I just wanted to do something a little bit fun, while at the same time being serious for April Fool's Day, because haha, this is an April Fool's video. Yay, if you made it this far, you get to actually know that this is an April Fool's video. And yes, while I do believe in those things, I did want to make it just nitpicking, just looking at these things again, because I have mentioned some of these things in past videos, so that we could all have a chance, and that's why I wanted to make it special, so that everyone could have a chance to say the things that they really don't like or that they've experienced here and that are realistically things that have happened to them here, which is part of the things that I want you to take into consideration if you're gonna leave a comment about the things that you don't like or nitpicks that you have about Ecuador. In other words, if you're going to leave a comment with a nitpick or something that you don't like about Ecuador, make sure to explain why you don't like that thing, what happened for you to not like that thing. Maybe it was a story, a moment that actually happened to you, someone that you know, where it happened possibly. You don't have to give super specifics, but it wouldn't help anyone if you say, oh, I got robbed. Yes, you can get robbed all around the country. But tell me, hey, you got robbed in Quito, maybe around a park, specific park at a specific time of day. Okay, so people know that that park at that time of day might be a little bit dangerous to be by, so that way they can avoid it if they're ever around that area themselves. Also, like I said earlier, make sure you don't repeat something that someone else said or something that I said, so make sure to read the comments and see if someone already said what you said, if what you were going to say is a little bit more general, you know. Also, remember that the first 5 days count from April 1st when this video comes out until April 5th, 2025, because haha, April Fool's Day. So if you're watching this video during that time, I am giving a 5-day grace period for you to say haha, April Fool's if someone comes out in the comments section to fight you about it, because like I said earlier, I do tend to get these comments where someone who is also Ecuadorian, because I am Ecuadorian, just a reminder, someone Ecuadorian comes out and says, oh no, why are you talking bad about Ecuador? Like, it's okay for us to mention the bad things, because if you don't mention the bad things, you can never fix those things and they always stay bad instead of one day hopefully becoming good. So basically, just make sure that if you comment, make it through those 5 days. After that, I can't defend you, April Fools can't defend you, unless you're watching this video in April 2026, in which case you can once again say April Fools. But this is why you should probably make sure you're subscribed and have bell notifications on for my videos, so that you get a notification and you get to be part of the first few people who comment and take advantage of a situation like this. I do also want to apologize for the slight audio hiccups that we had during this video. I'm still getting used to the new microphone and it was apparently moving around quite a bit. Also, as a final April Fool's gift, I have a message from John Oliver from Last Week Tonight to everyone who compares their country and all the bad things happening over there to Ecuador and the bad things happening here like it's some kind of size competition.
Quick sidebar to anyone who doesn't fall into any of those 6 categories. Let me say, as someone who falls into 5, go fuck yourself.
And speaking of April Fools, I am making this into a tradition where every year I try to post a video for April Fool's Day or hopefully April Fool's Week. And if you haven't seen last year's video, make sure to check it out next, where, you know, I actually acknowledge that Ecuador and the United States are the same. Are they? I don't know. Check out the video and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and as always, Ace out.